Hey, it's Stormcloud. I'm just gonna be like talking, doing training today. Talking about stuff though. I was actually thinking like some stuff in regards to like Rocket League meta. So like trying to think like what's gonna happen in the future of Rocket League. So this is all just like Rocket League like theory essentially. And gosh damn, I'm saying that word too much. But it's all just theory. So what's gonna be, I guess, the big thing in competitive play going forward? I guess from what I've seen so far. So I think demos are gonna start becoming like a massive thing, like aerial demos, stuff like that. I think those are gonna start becoming one of the ways that certain teams won't be able to score on defenses unless they actually get rid of the keeper. It's actually gonna become a thing to like set up scenarios to, I guess, get your team demos or get them secure that goal. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how that'll like. This is like all speculation, so this may not happen. This is just what I think will happen. Is the big thing is going to be demos and passing. I think that's definitely going to come to a forefront. I think the dribble game is very kind of undeveloped at the moment by a lot of players. A lot of players, you don't have to be able to dribble to be pro, so it'd be interesting to see if that's going to change at all. I'm not sure how changing this one will be because the game's going to start moving so very fast. Like it already moves so fast, but then it'll just move faster basically. It'll be a faster game. I think the passing is definitely gonna become one main thing though. Like, it's definitely gonna become something. Oh, I missed that. So sad. But yeah, passing for sure, definitely gonna be like a big thing going forward. Like, I can already see like the meta shift in my region, which is OCE. I can already see that it's changed so much since I was even pro. There were teams that passed and were more passy, but I think on average all the high teams they did passes, but it wasn't really like their main focus. They were kind of more like individually minded. So I was always a passy player, but my team wasn't quite on that same mindset. We did get passes going, it just wasn't quite as much as I would like. Like my ideal of passes is just everything. Everything's a pass because I just want to be passing pretty much non-stop. Which is why, you know, when I look for teammates now, I'm looking for people who know how to pass and stuff like that. Or when I'm looking just to play with people, I want to play with people who know how to pass, unless I'm just playing like solo rank. But passing is definitely going to become something. It'll be interesting to see whether that becomes, I guess, is it going to be like team aerial passes, or is that going to become like risky if they're doing like team? I guess team aerial passes are like the extension of what we already have, right? Where like a teammate will say aerial off the wall, and then somebody on the ground would jump up and aerial it when they see he's got that wall hit. But what's gonna happen when everyone's mechanical skill just gets up so high that you definitely know that they can hit that wall hit into the person aerialing in the mid. So that's gonna be absolute just set plays essentially. Which is why I think that my idea of team training was actually so good when I had it, because nobody was really thinking about it at the time, I don't think, from like my region. I don't know, maybe they just didn't, like, maybe they were doing it and they didn't say. That could be a thing, because it is a competition and people want to win, so that could definitely be a thing that they were doing. But I'm not sure. Wait, I'm gonna pause for 1 sec after this goal. Alright, I'm back. I was just making sure that I was actually recording my voice, because it was going to be awkward if I recorded this whole video and there's no voice, so I was just making sure. I missed this. Yeah, missed it. But it'll be interesting to see, because passes I think are going to become a major thing, like, definitely. No doubt in my mind, passes are gonna become something. I'm trying to work on ceiling aerials, because I feel like nobody uses them, but that's another thing I was thinking of, like double jumping downwards. Part of defense is where you can position, and I was actually thinking, what if defense actually starts being like around here, because you can double jump out to spots. That's really weird. Like from here, I can like double jump outwards, because your jump sends you whichever way like your roof is facing, basically is the direction your jump tends to send you. So it's kind of like if I'm going down, you can see it like pushes me down faster. So that'd be interesting to see if that becomes a thing with movement. I know movement already is starting to, you have to move fast, and part of that is doing like a fast turnaround like this, because it basically means that you can, so like instead of having to slow turn around like this or turn around like this, it's all in one motion. So it's actually like you cancel a backflip as you do a side backflip, you cancel it. So you can cancel it forwards as well, but it doesn't quite work as well. Like I actually find it harder to do because it doesn't quite cancel as quickly. But when you do good ones of this, it just basically go in whatever direction I want. straight away after. So you know, if say the ball's over there, it's just like spell it really badly. Like if you want to learn it, just look up I think fast turnaround Rocket League, and there'll be tutorials for it. I'm just bad at it, so I don't really want to do a tutorial for it, and don't really want to do it much. Like I am learning it, but if I was a pro player right now, so if I was playing pro, I would have learnt it by now, because it's just so good for pro play to be able to do it, because it's such a quick movement. But because I'm not playing in those like high stress games, I just haven't been bothered to learn it, because it's probably a mechanic that's more likely to hurt my arms doing it. So while I'm still in kind of recovery mode, I'm not really. Oh no! Peace. Oh, I wanted that so bad. That was such a good setup. Ooh. But basically, speed is going to become a big factor. So there's a limit to the speed though, which is why I think like so far the meta seems to be pushed towards passing and speed. It's like all it is your passes are getting better and more deceptive, and then speed is like everyone's ramping up. But what's like there's got to be a max speed. Although it could be like Melee. The game that I would definitely compare Rocket League to is Smash Bros. Melee, because it's kind of that sandboxy style where there's no set way you play. In Street Fighter, to do a combo, you have to do maybe a punch, a kick, and then a half circle on your joystick and another kick. Let's say that's a combo. But in Rocket League, there's no way to say like, if this is a combo where I'm hitting it off the wall into my aerial, or if this is a combo where I'm like doing a dribble and then I do a like double jump. How is that? It's not quite the same, because there's still so much level that you have to control mid combo, I guess, which is the same in Smash, where like you have your moves, but to actually be able to combo someone, it's not just this move into this move. You have to actually figure out where they're going and then hit them wherever they're going, as opposed to just hit them where they are. Like you got that one hit and then you combo them. So that's kind of why I compare Rocket League to Smash. I would say the other soccer games are probably what the I guess comparison could be, or like FIFA for example is more of a Street Fighter-esque sort of soccer game where you press circle, your character does a shot, you press X, your character does a pass, etc, etc. Basically it's a lot more linear in how you play the game. Whereas with Rocket League, everything, this is what I love about Rocket League and as a sports game, because it's what I always wanted. Like ever since I was young, I was like, what if a soccer game just like let you control one player, and you know you had their boot or something like that, like whatever it was, just let me control that one player and have full control. And that is actually Rocket League. It's amazing that it came in the form of cars jumping around the field with boost. It is amazing to me that this is the game that is that. But it's the game I've always wanted since I was a child, which is why I love looking at the theory of this game, where it's going, sort of thing so much, because it's such a dynamic game. In a way, that's why I see so much potential for it too. Is if it keeps growing as it is, I see so much potential for Rocket League, and I love seeing that, because I really want Rocket League to be, I guess, as big as it can be, because I know it can be a good game. It's definitely one that's like, if they can sort out Spectator to make it look better to watch, like more things to make it more, I guess, sporty to watch is definitely going to be a good thing. Because you got to play off the fact that it's a sport game. So with the theory of Rocket League, I'm kind of also going into like where the game could go. So I mean, whatever, it can go there. This video can go wherever it wants. I basically kind of pick a topic now and just let my mouth talk, because I can't contain it to one thing. I just kind of go everywhere. So I'm just gonna let myself go everywhere here. So with Rocket League being a game for spectators, you need a lot more stats. I think that's definitely one thing. I feel like assists should be awarded to like, I feel like there should be a stat for team assists where all three players touch the ball in a short amount of time or something, because you get an assist for just a normal one. But 3-man pass plays, oh my god, that's going to become something too, is actually using all three of your people to do a pass play. That's going to, because if you think about it, where everyone's so good at defense, how are you going to stop it? And the only way to really, I guess, stop that is to get three people passing it across the pitch or something, so you just move the goalie so much they can't even figure it out. So that's kind of another way I think the meta's gonna adjust, is there's gonna be a lot more like 3-man pass plays. I mean, not so much maybe, because a lot of it is, there are teams, say, who just rely more on pressure, so probably, I mean, Northern Gaming do 3-man pass plays, but okay, I'll just compare Northern Gaming and Flipside here. Northern Gaming do 3-man pass plays, but you'll probably see Flipside do them more, and that's because Flipside are more focused on passing to pressure, whereas Northern Gaming are focused more on just getting the ball into pressure spots, I guess. So Flipside want the possession, basically. They want the possession while they're pressuring you, whereas with Northern Gaming, they just want to be able to challenge you. They don't care if they don't care who has possession. They'd actually like it to be a 50-50 a lot of the time, because that's when they get a lot of their runaways from the looks of it. Like, they're so strong in 50-50s, they just played off of it, and they passed aside from that, and it just really worked really well for them. Oh, yes, it works! So I've been working on running the ball up into the ceiling and pinching it off the roof. That is another interesting thing, is pinches. I think pinching is going to become a big thing. Like, team pinches as well as individual pinches, because there's so much you can do with a pinch that you can't do with any... It's kind of like a super wave dash. I don't know if any of you know Smash, but basically... You can do a wave dash, which you can actually do it like that. If I do it badly, see there, you kind of see it. Like if I do it at the right time, I move like slightly. So imagine that, but like tripled. That's like what normal wave dash is. And then a super wave dash, it like literally goes the whole stage. It was ridiculous. But it's kind of like tech like that, I don't know, it's just something that's like completely gonna catch anyone off guard. There's no way you can really be ready for it unless they're doing it constantly. And that's what a pinch is, because if you look at a pinch, it can just go everywhere. I think pinches are already oh, that's a bad one. That's a really bad example. I'm really disappointed in myself. Oh my gosh. Don't watch me. I'm not good anymore. Washed up Pro 6 acceptance from Hungarian tribe. To let him live out his life in melancholy. Oh fuck, that's bad. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where I guess the esports of Rocket League could go as well, because it's definitely a game like that's fun to watch. Definitely a good game for streams because it's kind of shorter games. If you look at a lot of the top esports now, you have to sit down for quite a while to be able to watch a game, which is why I don't tend to watch other ones as much as Rocket League, because it's kind of so much more of a time investment. I could watch 2 or 3 tournaments of Rocket League in the time it takes me to watch these other tourneys. So I kind of just don't. I'll watch them occasionally. I don't mind Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't tend to take quite as long either. So I actually find these games that probably hold to short attention spans are probably going to be a big thing going forward. Because I feel like everyone's just got attention deficit disorder now. Pretty much everyone's just got it. It's probably a thing. It's from technology, I'm pretty sure. Like, that we can't actually... as a generation, can't actually concentrate as well because we've been on technology so much. So there's definitely something there with that where I think that could impact in games. It's such a weird thing to kind of say, like Rocket League might get popular because everyone has attention deficit disorder, like that sounds really weird. But, it doesn't matter if it's weird, if it's actually true, or if it happens. I mean, all of this is my theory, so you could just say like Stormclawd, you're friggin' just stoned out of your mind right now, you don't know what you're talking about, and I'd say, okay man. Oh no! Imagine if I like fall. Holy shit! I can like do so much stuff with this car. Oh, I was wanting to think like, I was wanting to talk though. Everyone uses the Octane at the moment, but I think Marauder is actually better than the Octane. Now, this is just like purely statistically speaking, because I think people have done analysis on it. Somebody was talking to me about it. Basically, it is wider than the Octane, I'm pretty sure. One of the big things that it has going for it is its nose has a visual hitbox that you can see. That is like a massive thing. And I also feel like it rotates in the air faster. I don't know, like this twirl seems faster than it does in the Octane. Maybe I just haven't played enough Octane to really know, but it definitely does feel that little bit faster. And that's definitely why I like it, is because I can like get everywhere in the air, which is what I like, because I go for wall hits and then I just go off everywhere. This is one thing I was thinking about, is my boost and my air roll are on different buttons. So if you saw how I did that, I can like control it so differently to how most people seem to control their wall hits. Like I can go like this, straight off the wall. And unless people are using claw or their rebound air roll, you can't actually do that. So I think that's why a lot of people rebound air roll a while back. I remember like a bunch of my friends were saying, oh yeah, I'm rebounding air roll. And they actually rebound air roll to the button that I rebound my boost originally. So I actually really like my boost being there. Like, it feels really good that I put my boost there. And it's probably the best decision I ever made in my Rocket League career, was putting my boost on left bumper. When I first, like, I literally loaded up the game, looked at the controls and said, I can't press boost and drift, this is stupid. And then I changed it, and it's honestly the, like, smartest decision I made just from the get-go. Like, holy crap. I mean, some of my cameras that I had, oof. Oof. So I used the Chronovi camera, but that's another thing. Is like, is there gonna be just like a camera setting that somebody finds that's just like this camera setting is just the best? Imagine if that happened. Imagine if there's just like a camera setting where it's like this setting is just what you need like in a competitive environment. Because there's always gonna be that level of like what can you play best on. But even like what can you play best on falls down to the argument of is it as good? So it may be that this is what I find in this game. It may be that your best cars are Ripper and Takumi, Stormclawed. But what you may find with those cards if you try to play them in the competitive is that unless you're really good to make up for the fact that they're not as good, then you're not really going to make it up. Because what I've found is since, like when I was pro, I could play the Takumi in competitive and it was fine because I played it, that was the car I played, it was just what I did. So it was fine, but now if I go to do it, I mean the skill level has increased, sure. I haven't been playing either, and that's the big thing. I haven't been able to play to that level that you need to if you want to be that really top player. And that's kind of what I wanted, and still want, it's just can't do. But I could do it on the Takumi. I could play on the Takumi against these top players. And now if I do that, I'm kind of a lot weaker. Like I definitely notice the weaknesses of it a lot more when I play in those games. Like my 50-50s, I find it really hard to win 50-50s, and I'm generally a bit slower to certain things than they are. And that's kind of one thing that I found the Marauders shifting is I was using the Ripper there because I was just like, screw it, like I just play well in this car, like it's more worth it for me to play well. I've got the Dominus and the Masamune sitting there I can play if I really need to, but now that I'm playing the Marauder, I really don't think I should switch car because it's exactly the car I've kind of always wanted and needed. I love small cars, but I don't like the Octane, and it's kind of, if you wanted to play a small car, the only real option was the Octane, so that's why I really love this car. But back to like why Marauder may be better, is statistically I think somebody did a thing, and it's like actually statistically just like a slight one-up from the Octane. So if that's the case, does that mean like everyone's going to be on Marauder at some point? Is that going to happen, or is it just going to be comfort of Octane? I feel like at this level, certain cars like it's not going to be the biggest disadvantage. It's kind of like a tier list of cars you could probably make at this point. So what's like tier 1? Actually, that's an interesting idea. Make a tier list of Rocket League cars. That'd be really interesting. Write down why they're there. I might actually do that. I actually am thinking about writing a tier list now for Rocket League. Like, because a lot of new players are like, you know, what are these cars? How do we play with them? What's even a good car? Like, a lot of my friends, they'll be like, yeah, I play Pro Rocket League, and they're like, oh man. Like, and then they'll ask me, does it really matter what car you use? And I'll say yes, and they're like, man, I don't believe you. And I'm just like, what? Because they just don't believe it, that like, a different car could actually make that much difference to your gameplay, because they're just such a different skill level to what I play at. I mean, they would come into my game and just be like, what? Like, it just moves so quickly, and they wouldn't even touch the ball. Like, literally, that's kind of why I love Rocket League so much, is if I'm a good player, I could literally 1v4 a bunch of new players. That's what I love. I love that the game has such a high skill ceiling that if you're not good at it, you're just fucked. Like, you know, if you verse someone good at it and you're not good, there's just kind of nothing for you in a way. And I love that, like, I can just prove how good I am in a game. I like when I can put in time and effort and it, like, really shows. That's what I really like. I mean, a lot of games have that, but I just feel like I get the most out of it in Rocket League. I mean, I used to really like it in Smash. I feel like I got a lot out of it in Smash as well, but I can't play Smash. Like, it actually hurts my arms to play Smash now. So it's just Rocket League. I'm starting to be able to play more Rocket League though, which is really, really exciting for me because I love playing this game. This game is my favorite game in the world. My big problem with it is I just want to be better than I am. I always just want to be better. Oh good, music. I was like, is my music just stopped? But it's a playlist and it's... But I always just want to be better. Now, I'm watching myself train now and I'm like seeing so many things where I could just do better. I just want to be better, but I can't play enough to get to that like skill cap at the moment. So like definitely for me, it's why I don't play competitive, because I know I'd like piss myself off if I did. Whereas like I know I can play better and I'm just not. That's the big thing for me. Is like if I'm not consistent, because I need to be able to train like 2 or 3 hours a day, or you know, at least 1 hour a day, potentially 2 or 3, as well as doing training. That's like my ideal day for... Oh fuck, I messed it up. I didn't read it right. So that's why like reading it off the roof is so hard, but I'm trying to do it because I feel like it's going to be harder for opponents to read my aerial coming off the wall if it's like into the ceiling and then an aerial coming at you, because at the point where it's hit the ceiling, they might be trying to go up for an aerial themselves, and that's where I tap it over them. So I am really trying to learn it, but it is very hard. Like, it's really, really hard to get it in the right spot that you can do kind of both things. This is like another meta thing. Like, what if this becomes like a common wall hit where you hit it into the ceiling and then hit it again? Because it gives you power. Like, you saw how hard I hit that ball into the ceiling. Imagine if I can I got aneurysm tongue. I just gave myself a brain aneurysm. It was trying to talk and then it just went blah 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 blah. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, I messed it up. I was trying to save it. What was I trying to say? Holy shit, I actually gave myself such a brain aneurysm just now. Oh, it actually hurts. It's like brain freeze. It's actually like brain freeze right now. That's horrid. Something about ceilings and pinches and hits and stuff. Okay, it's basically how quick it is. So imagine if you can actually control it. Like, oof. Oof. Shots are gonna... Oh my gosh. It's gonna become so hard to do anything in this game as the skill crap increases, and I'm so glad I started playing it early and I don't have to learn all this like 5 years from now and be like, holy shit, like all these guys are already so fucking good. Like, I got into it at the start, which is like really good for me. The same thing with Smash. I was like, holy shit, like all these fucking guys are so fucking good already. But then it makes it really hard for you to get in. But it does mean that your max potential is higher. So there's gonna be a player that comes along and plays this game in like 2 or 3 years, and I will never be able to be better than them. That'll like probably happen. There'll be a player that comes along and I'll just I mean, it depends. If my arms get good enough that I can play as much as I want and I'm dedicated, then okay, maybe I can beat them because I'll have the experience plus as long as I play as much as them, basically, right? So if you play as much as whoever else you're versing, you should have okay, in theory you should have the potential to beat that player if you play as much as them. If you play more with them, there should be more expectation on you to beat them than them to beat you as well. That also depends on the person. Like, some people just don't play this game the way I do. So if I played for 20 hours, I would learn a lot more in my first 20 hours than they would. And that's just because of how I approach games and how I approach Rocket League in the first place. Like, I'd say, you know, in my first 20 hours, I was already better than my friends. Oh, I'm getting Skype call. Wait, Skype's going off, everything's going off. Oh, concentrate! Oh, I was trying to, like, run it around the ceiling a bit more. Oh, God. Be interesting to see kind of how that affects positioning and all that, though. Oh, man. I'm just imagining the team passes that are going to happen. Like, imagine a 3-man aerial pass play. Like, it sounds so stupid to say it now because you're like, they'll try that and they just get scored on Storm. But, oh my god, I'm just imagining where, like, you know, the defender's gone up, or maybe it's like passed back in the air, defender's gone up to number 2, who's like, you know, he's hit it over here to this guy who's like jumped off the wall, and then this guy hits it over to number 3, who's like over here, and he yells into the, oh my god. Oh my god, I'm like, oh, I want that. I don't even care if I can do that. I just care about seeing someone do that. That was kind of my big thing with this game, is like, I can be good enough that I can kind of like push what people can do, which is what I love. But at the same time, if I couldn't do that, I'd still love it. And I just love watching people push this game. That's why I play kind of how I do. I love watching the game be pushed. And that's kind of why I love my playstyles, because I'm just constantly pushing. And that's what I really hope competitive does too, is like we constantly keep pushing towards bigger and better things. Like, it's already been shown that defensive teams just don't work at this point, which is I love. I would be sad if, like, I mean, I'm not saying that defense isn't important. Defense is probably like the most important thing at high level Rocket League. It's actually ironically the most important thing. People are like, oh my god, look how they score goals and stuff. But your defense is actually the most important thing. Because if your defense is fundamentally wrong, it puts more strain on your offense to score goals for the fact that your defense is fundamentally wrong. And this is what I feel like a lot of teams kind of skip. They just don't make their defense fundamentally solid to begin with. So there are teams that are going to naturally have better defense because their players are more inclined to it. So players like me, I'm more inclined to passing and defending. That's my strength. But then you compare it to like maybe a team like Simple Physics, my team, and you got a player like Desu, who's definitely not suited to those sorts of roles. He's more suited to kind of big aerials. He's definitely a big aerial player. I'm definitely, like, if we went up for aerial contests, he would win probably 60 to 70% of those aerials because he's better at aerials than me. But with that being said, I'm probably better at passing and positioning. So then part of positioning actually makes you good at defense, because to be able to play defense you have to position well. So that's definitely one thing that I think a lot of players are kind of lacking in, especially in competitive, is they just don't position quite right. So they might put in the hours, they might be really fundamentally quite good mechanically, they might be really good in the midfield, in the offense, but then you put them in defense and they just crumble. So there's quite a few players like that, even like some top level players, like Sad Jr. would be one. He would definitely be one where you put him in defense and he's just not, you just see that he's not quite as comfortable. And this is probably due to the fact that it's interesting to see how playing with certain people affects the teammates. So I can actually see it from my team. I can see it in Sad Jr. Because you think about his team, he played with Gibbs and Kronovi. So what did Sad Jr. have to do on that team? He had to set up Kronovi and score, because Gibbs isn't really going to come forward. Like, at the time, Gibbs literally just played defensively. So if that in mind, Gibbs isn't going forward, so the only way to score is either if Sad scores it or Kronovi scores it. So Sad got really, really good at getting goals and like forcing pressure and stuff. But then what he became really bad at was defense, because he didn't practice it. And it's important to be able to practice those things in game, and that's like where good positioning comes in. So there's probably gonna, like in most teams you will find that there is a core defensive player. Like most teams will have that one player who's generally wanting to be back, so they tend to rotate more towards going back sooner. But what this means is that the team can rotate off them. So for me, you know, if I'm playing with Daisu and Days, I know that I should probably be the one that's playing more back, because I'm the best defender out of us three. So with that in mind, I tend to play more off them, and that means my positioning is off them. And what that means is that they can rotate more freely. And that's kind of what I guess positioning is going to become interesting, as to kind of how that evolves in the meta. Because it'll be interesting to see if it like becomes like you have to be three just like amazing players around the pitch, like whether you can still have that kind of one more like just overall like solid player who's just really good at defense, because that definitely is kind of one of the things now. You just have like two really like just solid players in midfield and attack, and then one more defensive player and whatnot. Also, I really hope this becomes the meta. I really, really hope it does. Oh my god, it's so fun. It's so fun, but so hard. Like, I love it because nobody does it. It's my back flick, basically. Basically what I'm doing is just a delayed flick is all it is. But there's a lot of like niche things you can kind of do with it because of the way that I'm doing it mechanically. It's just very mechanically difficult. But it does shoot good shots, which I really like. It actually seems to shoot like really nice height off the Marauder, where with other cars I have to pop it from midfield, which I don't like. But then with the Marauder it seems I can kind of pop it from a lot closer, which is very, very nice. Might mean I don't get as long range with them, but it'll be nice, it'll be nice. Alright, I'll wrap this up soon, because I've been going for a while. That's kind of just, I don't know if I like just completely fucking rambled super hard, or if you actually got some information out of that. I mean, I hope, if anything, like, is informative to you, or maybe made you think about something, I don't know. If you really want me to do like a video on something specific, like positioning or something, just let me know, because I need to do that. And I get more motivated to do it if somebody asks me, because then my brain goes, oh, they asked me to do that, like I really need to do that. Whereas like if I just have to do it off my own merit, it's just kind of like I'm just lazy as heck. I will do the easiest thing I possibly can instead of what I think I should do, because I am just lazy. Oh my god. Oh, I missed! You Jehovah. Mate, we got fighting problems now. Those are fighting words. Oh my gosh. But anyway guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'm Stormclawd. And I'll see you next time if I score this goal. No! Oh, disappointment. If this goes in, are we good? Yeah! Okay, we good. I always like to end on like a decent goal, so that's good. It's also in the stopping the music, so really good. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.